Hello, welcome to my channel. If this is your first time of joining us, I must say a very big welcome to you, and do ensure you like, you subscribe, and you share this video, and also turn on the notification button for the course of this training so you can always be notified whenever there is a new video. Alright, like I promised, I was going to run through ethical hacking. It's a free and open source training, and don't fail to join. And there is a challenge for us, like I told you, to meet up to 500 subscribers, so we can be giving out free tools like what we have on the screen. This is the course outline for ethical hacking, and I also have the tools to give to every one of you for each of these phases. Now, like you can see, for the first one, there is introduction to ethical hacking, followed by printing and reconnaissance, footprinting and reconnaissance, scanning network, enumeration, vulnerability analysis, system hacking, malware threats, sniffing, social engineering, denial of service, dissection hijacking, invading IDS, hacking web servers, hacking web application, SQL injection, hacking wireless network, hacking mobile platforms, IoT and OT hacking, cloud computing, and cryptography. Okay, let me run you through these tools like we have. Okay, this is for footprinting and reconnaissance. Let's see what we have in there. You can see the file size 515.6 megabytes. So these are all the tools I'll be showing you how to use for footprinting and reconnaissance. Now, if you see, we have image tracking tools, footprinting tools, tools for finding domains, tools for gathering, a whole lot of them. So I will take you through this step by step and also give you as much tools as possible to enhance your knowledge for this training, and I hope you find this very interesting. We shall be looking at the first stage of ethical hacking, which is introduction to ethical hacking. Alright, what is hacking? Hacking in the field of computer security refers to exploiting system vulnerabilities and compromising security controls to gain unauthorized or inappropriate access to system resources. It involves modifying system or application features to achieve a goal outside its original creator's purpose. Hacking can be done to steal, pilfer, and redistribute intellectual property, thus leading to business loss. Okay, so when we say vulnerabilities, what does it mean? System vulnerabilities. It's more like a weakness, a security weakness in your computer. So hacking in this case is as a result of taking advantage of that weakness to compromise your system, in other words, gaining unauthorized access to that computer. So that is what it means generally on hacking. Exploiting is a process which we are going to show you in the sake of this course, so understand better what that means. So taking advantage of the security loophole in order to gain access to that computer, unauthorized access, is known as what? Is known as hacking. Hacking on computer network is generally done by means of scripts or other network programming. Network hacking techniques include creating viruses and worms, performing denial of service attack, establishing unauthorized remote access control connection to a device using trojans, backdoors, creating botnets, packet sniffing, phishing, and password cracking. The motive behind hacking could be to steal crucial information and or services. Okay, so that is basically why I keep telling people hacking is illegal. So we being the good guys, we are not into stealing. Being an ethical hacker is more like being a defensive part of security network. You get my point? Defending yourself against hacker and help teach other people how to defend themselves against what? Against hackers. So generally hacking, like I explained before, is a process of exploiting system vulnerabilities and gaining unauthorized access. Okay, so let's look at the next category here. Who is a hacker? A hacker is a person who breaks into a system or network without any authorization to destroy, steal sensitive data, or perform malicious attack. Hacker is is an intelligent individual with excellent computer skill, along with the ability to create and explore into the computer software and hardware. Usually, a hacker would be a skilled engineer or programmer with enough knowledge to discover vulnerabilities in the target system. He or she is generally a subject expert and enjoys learning the details of various programming languages and computer systems. Now, mind you, I'll be sharing this document with you. So once subscribed and like and comment, you can send me an email. I'll put my email in the description, so you can get your free tool and your free document. And also remember to connect others so that we can have a lot of subscribers. Our minimum aim for subscriber is 500, and I'm hoping we'll get more than this as time goes on. So now you know who an hacker is: a person who breaks into a system or network without any authorization, mainly to steal or destroy or to cause malicious attack. Okay, so let's quickly look at the classes of hackers. We have the black hats, white hats, gray hats, suicide hackers, script skiddies, cyber terrorists, state-sponsored hackers, and hacktivists. Now, our concern here is the white hats, which is the good guys. So for this, you as an ethical hacker, your class of hacker is the white hat. Individuals professing hacker skills and using them for defensive purposes. So in this case, you'll be taught both being a bad guy, that is what you profess, to be a good guy. Alright, so our major concern in these classes of hacker is mainly the white hat. So the black hat hackers are more like the ones that causes malicious damage, while you being the white hat is for the sake of what? Of a defensive purpose, to prevent yourself from being hacked. Now the gray hat is a combination of the black and the white. Some persons in the morning they will be the white hat, while at night they proceed with the black hat, which is not what we want here. So in this case, now mind you, this video is for educational purposes, to teach you how to defend yourself against what? Against hackers. Alright, so you can read further. You can Google and read further if you are so interested, or you can just have a brief on the classes of hackers. Okay, now let's look at the phases of hacking. Okay, quickly, the phases of hacking. There are mainly 5 phases of hacking. Number 1, we have the reconnaissance phase, we have the scanning phase, we have the gaining access, maintaining access, and clearing tracks. Now let's look at reconnaissance. Reconnaissance refers to the preparatory phase in which an hacker gathers as much information as possible about the target prior to launch the attack. And that is easy. I don't even need to explain more on that. So reconnaissance is more like your first stage, where you gather enough information about your target. So if you are targeting a company or you are targeting an organization, the first stage first, preparing your drawing board, you have to gather as much information as you can before you start your hacking. Now, this is more like you knowing more about the system security, the system network, employees, operations, and whatever code about that organization. It may take a longer time depending on the scale of the organization or the company you're about to compromise. So the first stage of hacking is mainly what? Gathering information about your target network. In this phase, the hacker draws a competitive intelligence to learn more about the target. It could be the future point of return, noted for ease of entry for an attack when more about the target is known on a broad scale. Reconnaissance target range may include the target organizations, clients, employees, operations, network, and system. This phase allows attackers to plan the attack. This may take some time as the attacker gathers as much information as possible. Part of this reconnaissance may also involve social engineering. A social engineer is a person who convinces people to review information such as unlisted phone numbers, password, and other sensitive information. For instance, the hacker could call the target internet service provider and, using whatever personal information previously obtained, convince the customer service representative that the hacker is actually the target, and doing so obtain even more information about the target. So you see, here in reconnaissance phase, a lot of things is involved. A social engineer has to be there to partake in an active information gathering. You can call the customer care. Just try to see how you can gather as much information as possible. And we have some tools that could help us on that. When I told you I'll be sharing all of these things, I meant it. Now you see under reconnaissance phase, we have the email tracking tools, footprinting tools, tools for finding domains, a lot of them as you can see. Let's look at this footprinting. Okay, under footprinting we have Foca, Motigo, Metasploit, Netscan, OS Framework, Recon NG, Search Dignity, the Avestas. Now all these I'll be sharing with you, and also I will show you how to use them, which is very, very important. Okay, so that is all about reconnaissance for now. You can read more, you can Google it and read more. I have a comprehensive document for all these. This is just what I just extracted a little from it, but I have a comprehensive a PDF file comprehensive on each of this hacking phase. So once you're a subscriber and you can refer like 10 or 15%, you get as much tools as you want, you get as much document as you can ask any questions. I'll drop my email in the description so you can always reach out to me. So please, it is very important being a subscriber and you have at least 10 persons that are subscribed under you. Well, that's okay. We can share as much tools as we can in order to enhance your knowledge on ethical hacking. Now, there are two types of reconnaissance. We have the passive reconnaissance and the active reconnaissance. What's the passive reconnaissance? Passive reconnaissance involves acquiring information without direct interaction with the target. For example, searching public record or news. You understand what that means? Now, in this case, there is nothing like social engineering. There is no telephone call. There is no formal email sending and getting replies. Now, the passive has to do with gathering from open source, maybe going through Google's, asking questions around people that are not within the target network. You go online, you read from news release, you gather information from all those open source informations are under passive reconnaissance. Now the active reconnaissance involves direct interaction with the target company. There is a direct interaction. That is where social engineering comes in. That has to do with what? An active reconnaissance. And I bet you, if you are involved in the active reconnaissance, you tend to gather as much reliable information as possible, comparing to what you have in the open source like Google or a news release. Okay, let's look at the second phase of hacking, which is scanning. Scanning is a phase immediately preceding the attack. Here, the attacker uses the detail gathered during reconnaissance to scan the network for specific information. Scanning is a logical extension of active reconnaissance. And in fact, some experts do not differentiate scanning from active reconnaissance. There is a slight difference, however, in that scanning involves more in-depth probing on the part of the hacker. Often the reconnaissance and the scanning phase overlap, and it is not always possible to separate the two. An attacker can gather critical network information such as mapping of system, routers, and firewalls by using simple tools such as the standard Windows utility traceroute. Alternatively, they can use tools such as CHOP to add additional information to traceroute results. Now, scanning can include use of dialers, port scanners, network mappers, ping tools, vulnerability scanners, etc. Attackers extract information such as live machines, port status, OS details, device type, system uptime, etc. to launch the attack. Now, like the word says, scanning. You know what it means to scan. So when you scan this network, what are you expected, or what is your expected result? Now, mainly when you scan a particular network to know the live machines, to know the port, the status of the port, and the type of operating system running on those machines. And there are several tools to help us on that. I think that will be under scanning, which is, scanning network. We have a lot of tools that will help us to gather as much information. You see proxy tools, ping sweep tools, packet crafting tools, network discovery tools. Under network, okay, we have network topology mapper. Now these are the tools we'll be using to explain each and every phase of this hacking. Are we together? So please take notes. Scanning as being the second phase of hacking is more like processing your results from your reconnaissance. That is why they said it is more like an active reconnaissance. So after the information gathered from your reconnaissance phase, you process them. You scan to see what you can get. Like I told you, the expected results mainly are live machines, ports, the port status, the OS details, the device type, system uptime, and so on. Port scanners detect listening ports to find information about the nature of service running on the target machine. The primary defense technique against port scanner is to shut down services that are not required, as well as to implement appropriate port filtering. However, attackers can still use tools to determine the rules implemented by the port filtering. Now, this is also more on port scanning. So you scanning a port is to know the nature and the status of that port in order to know if there is any possible means to gain access. All right. So the primary defense technique against port scanning is to shut down services that are not required. The services you are not using in that system that are not required to run a particular program, you shut them down so that these attackers may not get any traceable way to get into your computer. Okay, the phase of hacking, the phase of scanning. Now we have the pre-attack phase, the port scanners, and extract information. Now the pre-attack phase, scanning refers to the pre-attack phase when the attacker scans the network for specific information on the basis of information gathered during reconnaissance. Port scanners. Scanning can include use of dialers, port scanner, network mappers, ping tools, vulnerability scanner, etc. Now you are scanning all of this. You are scanning your professed results from your information gathered to get more informations, like what we explained here on live machines, the port status, the OS details, device type, system, and so on. So when we start using some of these scanners, you will understand better what scanning is all about. Now we have a lot of it here. That will be look at scanning tools. Under scanning tools, we have global network inventory, HPing, IP tools, mega ping tools, network scan tool pro, nmap, and so on. Okay, so we'll be sharing these tools and also we'll teach you how to use these tools. Okay, let's look at gaining access. This is the phase in which real hacking occurs. Attackers use vulnerabilities identified during the reconnaissance and scanning phase to gain access to the target system and network. Gaining access refers to the point where the attacker obtains access to the operating system or application on the computer or network. The attacker can gain access at the operating system level or application level or network level, even though attackers can use plenty of damage without gaining access to the system. The impact of unauthorized access is catastrophic. For instance, external denial of service attack can either exhaust resources or stop services from running on the target system. Ending process can stop a service using a logic bomb or time bomb, or even 1 minute, I beg your pardon, or even reconfiguring the crashing of the system. Thus, attacker can exhaust system and network resources by consuming all outgoing communication link. Now you see the process of gaining access and what level and access can be gained into a target system. Now we can gain access at the operating system level, we can gain access at application level, or even the network level. We will demonstrate all these things, then you will see how it is done when we go to the hands-on lab. I hope you all have connected your VM machine. Now I will also show you some other machines you can download we shall be using for testing. We scan those machines for vulnerabilities, then I'll show you how to gain access into this machine. Now after gaining access, okay, this is the phase of hacking. After gaining access, what do? You maintain access. You know what that means. Now you've successfully entered into the system. Now, how do you maintain being in that system? There is a process for that. I will share this material with you. You will read through and see how this is done. Now, mainly, one method to achieve this is the use of backdoors. I will show you how to create backdoors. I will give you tools on how. I'll give you tools to create backdoors. Now, you know what a backdoor means. You, as the owner of a system, you have the front door key to your computer, while the hacker has a backdoor key. Are we there? So that's a way of entering into your system without your knowledge. So maintaining access is the ability for the attacker to be visiting your computer more often. So that is what it means by what? By maintaining access. The attacker can be checking your system constantly. So the attacker tries as much as he can to maintain that access for revisiting your computer at all time. Okay, I will share all of this for you. You can read to your own understanding. Now, clearing tracks, you know what that means. After getting that access, you have to clear tracks so that your method cannot be traceable. Are we there? So that is meant by clearing tracks. You have successfully found the road to where you are going. Now you have to delete or to clear your footmat on the floor. So clearing tracks so you cannot be tracked at all. You can revisit that system at every point in time. So that is another phase of what? Of hacking. So we shall be looking at all of these one after the other as time goes on. Now, what is ethical hacking? Ethical hacking involves the use of hacking tools, tricks, and techniques to identify vulnerabilities so as to ensure system security. Now, that is all about ethical hacking. You use hacking tools to identify vulnerabilities and you process them in order for attackers not to gain access to the computer. Are we there? That is where the defensive part of hacking comes in. It focuses on simulating techniques used by attackers to verify the existence of exploitable vulnerabilities in the system securities. Now, you also check if these vulnerabilities are exploitable. After checking, you know what to do. You put things in place. If it is to upgrade your IDS or your firewall to prevent attackers from getting access. Ethical hackers perform security assessments of their organization with the permission of concerned authorities. Are we there? So before you perform any assessment on an organization, there must be a permission from that organization. Okay? So ethical hacking involves the use of hacking tools, tricks, and techniques to identify vulnerabilities so as to ensure system security. Don't forget. Why ethical hacking is necessary? I will share all of these things with you so you can learn more about why it is necessary for ethical hackers. Reason why organizations recruit ethical hackers: to prevent hackers from gaining access to organization information system, to uncover vulnerabilities in system and exploit their potentials as a risk, to analyze the strength and organization security posture, including policies, network protection, infrastructure, and end-user practice, to avoid adequate preventive measures in order to avoid security breaches, to help safeguard customers' data available in the business transaction, to enhance security awareness at all levels in a business. So that is also important for you. Scope and limitations. So read all of this. I will share these materials so that we can have a broad knowledge and understanding on ethical hacking. Skill of an ethical hacker. So you can look at the technical skills and the non-technical skills. So read all these things and have the background knowledge how it works before we go into physical practice. All right, so I think that is all I will take for the introduction for now. If there is any question, please leave me a comment below. And again, as I keep telling you, this video is for educational purpose. We're only educating you on how to prevent yourself from being hacked. All right, so doing anything malicious, it is not acceptable. Please, hacking is illegal. Do not hack anybody without their consent. Hacking is illegal. And mind you, this video, like I explained, is for educational purpose only. All right, so thank you for now. I'll see you in the next video.